Good morning. If you're one of my regular viewers, welcome back. If this is the first time that you're viewing one of my lessons, then you're very welcome. It's nice to see you. Today, I've decided that I'd like to talk a little bit more about doing seated Qigong, because one of the big advantages of what I do is that it can be done by anyone, any age, any fitness level. You don't actually have to be able to stand up to do it. So what I'm going to do is, in a moment, I'm going to move back to the end of the room, and then I'm going to talk through the rooting and grounding standing, and then I'm going to talk through how you do that and demonstrate it seated, so that everybody has the chance to take advantage of it. Okay, so if you'd like to get yourself into a space where you're actually going to do the moves, we can get going. So, doing the rooted and grounded standing is something I've explained before. Feet are hip width apart, knees very slightly bent, back straight, neck straight, chin parallel with the floor, which probably means that when you try to get your neck straight, you tend to look up. So just tuck your chin in a bit. Make sure that your shoulders are nice and relaxed and your hands are hanging loose by your side. And then just give a little gentle pelvic tilt just to engage your core abdominal muscles. And that is the ideal position for doing the moves if you're standing. And as those of you who are familiar with the move set will know, at various times I will say that you dip slightly on one knee and then dip slightly on the other knee. Okay, I've mentioned that for a reason. Now I'm going to get myself seated on this convenient stool, and I'm just going to demonstrate the seated stance. I'm on a stool, so it's fairly easy for me to adjust the height of this stool so that my hips are at 90 degrees and my knees are at 90 degrees, or as close to 90 degrees as you can get. If you can't quite manage that, just get as close to that as you can, and if necessary, put a cushion behind your back to make sure your back is straight, and maybe put a cushion under your feet if the seat of your chair is a little high, and so you end up with your trying to keep your feet on tiptoes. But just get as close as you can to that. But basically, the stance is identical. You have your feet a hip width apart, with the feet parallel, not turned in or turned out, as it's so easy to do. Obviously, your knees are bent naturally because you're seated, but you can still get your back nice and straight and tuck your chin in, and make sure that your hands are nice and relaxed and that your shoulders are nice and relaxed. And even seated, you can just give a gentle little pelvic tilt to really engage these core abdominal muscles. And in this position, you can do all of the arm movements. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do the leg movements, but there is a little cheat that you can use. If I'm telling the standing group to dip slightly on one knee and then dip slightly on the other, What you can do is, if they are dipping on their left knee, raise your right heel slightly, which has the same sort of effect. You can see, and that's not that difficult to do. But I always say that these moves can be done by anybody, regardless of age or level of fitness. And while what I demonstrate is what I hope is kind of the ideal way of doing the moves, although I know I don't do them totally ideally, the important thing isn't doing the moves perfectly. It's doing them perfectly for you, which means that when you're doing the moves, you're listening to your body, and you're only doing physically what your body is happy with. You know in your own mind how much you can do. So if you try to get your arms up there, you will know if your shoulders are going to take your arms up there, or if really that's as far as you can get them. When you're trying to take your arm out, you will know how much movement you have in your arm and in your hands. At all stages during this move set, you should be working at 70% of your maximum. Nothing that you do during this should cause you pain or discomfort. If it does, it's quite simple. Stop doing it. Just adjust what you're doing to what your body is happy to cope with. And if that means, as it will for some of the people who will be watching this video, that all they're doing is breathing and kind of doing it in their imagination, well, do you know what? That's okay, because if that's all that you can do, that's all that you can do. This is not about physical fitness. It's about helping your energy to become balanced and to move freely through your body. And that is done as much with the breath and the mind as it is with the body. Using all three is obviously best, but if you can't use all three, then as Meatloaf would say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Sorry, I went to see Meatloaf the musical last Saturday, and I've still got the songs ringing through in my mind. Okay, so in a minute I'm going to stand up and lead the move set, and then as ever I will be doing the mindfulness meditation. We'll lead straight into that. So when you finish the move set, get yourself seated where you're going to do the meditation. And as ever, the meditation will begin and end with the sound of the singing bowl. And in both cases, I would like you to listen for the sound of the singing bowl fading away before you either close your eyes or open, or more especially open your eyes at the end. Okay, let's get going. I'm going to stand up, move forward a little bit. So get yourself into your good fair stance, whether you are seated or standing. Take a moment to get yourself comfortable and feel happy in this. And then I'd like you to close your eyes and just breathe. Just focus on your breathing. And as you do, use your breath to tune into your body and get an idea of what your body needs today. Maybe get an idea of what your mind needs today as well. Maybe get an idea of how you need to feel at the end of this session. And then as you breathe, I'd like you to visualize that you're in a beautiful glass elevator. You feel perfectly safe and relaxed. And with every out breath, I'd like you to imagine that the elevator gently moves down. With every out-breath, just visualize that elevator moving down, floor by floor. Maybe you can get your elevator right to the bottom, maybe you can't. Maybe your breath only moves it half a floor rather than a whole floor. That doesn't matter. As you breathe, you slowly imagine yourself sinking further and further down. And then stand with the backs of your hands facing towards the front and your hands loose by your side. And then with your next in-breath, slowly let your hands float up in front of you. And as you breathe out, your hands just sink down. On your own breath, with your own rhythm, let your breath drive everything. You keep your breath natural, and as you breathe in, just let your arms float up. And when you breathe out, just let them float down again. Breathe in, your hands float up. Breathe out, and then gently sink down. And then the last time for this move, breathe out, and your hands sink down. And then with your next in-breath, your hands float up, but this time turn your palms in. And as you breathe out, just turn them down again. As you breathe in, you may find your arms spread out with the movement of your chest. So as you breathe out, your hands move back in with the movement of your chest. As you breathe in, your hands turn in and spread out. And as you breathe out, your hands float back in and back down. As you breathe in, imagine you're breathing in a good and positive energy from the room. And as you breathe out, maybe you can imagine you breathe out any stress or tension, like grey smoke. Breathe in, your hands float up and spread out. And as you breathe out, your hands float back in and back down. And then the last time for this move, at the bottom, relax and let go. And maybe take a moment to just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Just check that you're comfortable in whatever stance you're standing or sitting. And with your next in-breath, I want you to raise your arms up as high as you can easily get them. Remember the 70% rule. And just for a moment, just check that your shoulders are still nice and relaxed. And however high you can easily get your hands is fine for you. If you can get them all the way up there, fantastic. If they're down here with me, that's equally fantastic. So maybe imagine that you're holding a ball between your hands just here. And as you breathe out, sit slightly on your left knee and just let your right hand uncurl. And as you breathe in, your weight comes back up and your hands meet again. And then do the same on the other side. Dipping on your right knee, or if you're seated, lifting your left heel. So you dip on one knee and let the opposite arm float down. And this move is called painting rainbows. And you can easily imagine as you move your hands through the air, you are actually painting a rainbow. Breathe out. Let the hands float down. Breathe in. It comes back up again. And then last time for this move. Breathe in. Bring your hands up. Then turn your hands out and just let your hands sink down by your side. As you breathe in, your hands rise up. As you breathe out, maybe you could imagine that you're pushing away any clouds that surround you. Breathe in, your hands rise up. As you breathe out, they float all the way back down. And then the last time for this move, breathe out and let your hands sink all the way back down. And as you breathe in, bring your hands into position, ready to balance the chi. I want you to imagine that you're feeling a ball that's floating in water. As you breathe in, you run your hands around the ball, and as you breathe out, try to push that ball underwater. Be careful with this move to take your hands no higher than your heart. And last time for this move, breathe in, feel around the ball, breathe out, push the ball down, and let your hands follow through quite naturally. Bring them into position on your lap or in front of your abdomen. Just for a moment, close your eyes. And just let everything settle. Maybe find that quiet, still place deep inside you. And just let everything settle. And then, when you're ready, get yourself seated. Get yourself comfortable. And I'd like to invite you to listen to the sound of a singing bowl and follow the sound as it fades away. As the sound of the singing bowl fades away, let your eyes close if you wish. Get yourself settled and comfortable in your chair or bed. Make sure that your body is physically as comfortable as it can be. Maybe imagine yourself sinking a little deeper into the chair. Letting your shoulders relax a little bit more. Then I want you to bring your attention to your breath. Just keep your mind focused on that very simple act of breathing in and breathing out. Breathing is something that happens so automatically most of the time you're not aware of it. But I'd like you to be aware of it now. I don't want you to change your breath in any way. Let your breath be completely natural. Just let your breath happen all by itself. And I just want you to notice how you sense each breath. Maybe you sense the movement of air through your nose and throat. Maybe you're aware of movement of muscle in your chest or abdomen. Just let your attention rest with whatever comes most loudly to your attention. Because right here, right now, nothing else matters except just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. Mindfulness means being aware. As you are aware of your breath, you may well find that your mind wants to wander off and do other things. Well, you know, that's perfectly natural. And so if and when you discover that your mind has wandered away, I don't want you to get cross or to tell yourself off. I want you to congratulate yourself for noticing that your mind has wandered away. Maybe acknowledge the thought that took it away. And then slowly, gently, lead your mind back to focusing on just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. Because right here, right now, that's all you need to do, is focus on just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. It really doesn't matter how many times you need to lead your mind back. Because every time you notice that your mind has wandered, you are succeeding in being mindful. And every time you keep your mind focused on your breath, you are succeeding at being mindful. Just let your awareness rest within your breath, whatever you notice about it. Because right here, right now, that's all you need to do, is just notice, just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. Now there's a lot of movement associated with breathing. But maybe you can become aware of that moment in between each breath. when there is no movement. And your out-breath becomes an in-breath, and your in-breath becomes an out-breath. And just for a tiny moment, everything is still. Bring your mind to focus on that moment of stillness if you can. Just let your attention rest there, in stillness and calmness. And you may like to consider the fact that that moment of stillness happens hundreds of times every day. Let that moment of stillness between each breath just give you a source and supply of stillness and calmness which you can find when you need it. And all you need to do is just bring your focus to your breath, to be aware of every in-breath and every out-breath, and a moment of stillness in between. Maybe you could imagine that every time that moment of stillness happens, it puts a tiny drop of stillness into a place where you can tap into it later if you need it. Find that place now. With your next in-breath, I'd like you to imagine that you breathe down into that place. As you breathe out, your out-breath carries with it stillness, or calmness, or confidence, or happiness. Your out-breath will carry with it whatever feeling you need most, right here, right now. Your breath will carry with it the feeling that you need to feel at the end of this session. And with every in-breath, you breathe down into that place again, and every out-breath carries more and more of that feeling around your body. So after a few gentle, easy breaths, that feeling will have been breathed around the whole of your body. So every part of your body is filled with that feeling, all the way from the top of your head, all the way down to the tips of your toes. And maybe try to hold the whole of your body in your awareness. Be aware of your body being filled with that feeling and enjoy it. Then bring your attention back to your breath, to the simple act of breathing in and breathing out. And you once again become aware of that moment of stillness that comes in between each breath. And just remind yourself that you can tap into that anytime you need it by bringing your focus to your breath. And then let your awareness start to move outwards. Maybe become aware of where your body is in the chair. Be aware of the touch of the chair on your body. And let your awareness spread further so that you become aware of the room. Become Become aware of the sounds both inside and outside the room. And then bring yourself back to more normal awareness as you follow the sound of the singing bowl once again. But you have your eyes closed. Try to keep your eyes closed until the sound of the singing bowl has faded away. And as you let your eyes open, as the sound of the bowl fades into nothing, keep in your mind the intention to take this good feeling with you through the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed that. Next week, I think I'm going to focus much more on the mindfulness meditation and make the move set slightly shorter. But if you have any specific things that you would like me to cover, then do please feel free to PM me. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I will now say goodbye, and I hope you have a good day.